name's Phil Juhas, and I'm from Bethlehem, and I'd like to first thank you all for this opportunity to let you get to know me a little. A question I'm sure you have is what makes me different from the other candidates running for the Board of Education. And first off, I'd like to say it's my dedication to public service. I'm an EMT on Bethlehem Ambulance, have been for some time. I am a commissioner on the Inland Wetlands Commission in Bethlehem. I work on the Length of Service Awards program in Bethlehem, which administers the retirement and insurance program for firefighters and EMS personnel, and the Longmeadow Lake Management Committee. These activities have put me in touch with the community in a way that I don't think the other candidates have ever been able to experience. Second, I think, are my varied life experiences, from being a successful senior staff member of high-tech medical companies to my current life as a writer and artist. I've had the unique abilities to develop views of the world that not many people have. And third, I'm not a single-issue candidate, nor do I owe allegiance to anyone but the students whose lives I pledge to improve. I'm independent, I rely on fact-based decisions, and I will strive to see past today and plan for tomorrow. While looking over the letters and voices today, I noticed a recurring theme in the letters that are supporting those who are challenging the incumbents, a call for change. Let's think about change. The incumbents' move for change is what set off this storm of controversy regarding the reconfiguration. But their willingness to evaluate and adopt this progressive, creative solution to an intolerable situation, I think, is what best qualifies them to continue their work on the board. The alternative, a return to inequitable class sizes and fragmentation of grades until middle school, isn't progress. I'm working on a project to make a visual record of industrial architecture of the early 1900s. Today, as I was walking around the Torrington Company, where my grandfather and my father both worked, I was struck by a couple of things. First, just the glory of the buildings themselves that mirror the pride of the people to whom these plants were their universe. And second, more importantly, I thought how my grandfather's life as an immigrant during the Depression was an improvement of the life he came from, and that of my father, who, because of his father's sacrifices and achievements, made an even better life for himself and his family through the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s. And I have a life I can be proud of, made possible by the work and sacrifice of my father and his generation. And then I thought of today's generation, which will be the first generation to be left with a worse situation than the last generation, with an incredible amount of debt and facing a poorer job market. We owe it to this generation to prepare them as best we can to be competitive and able to succeed in the world. This will take creativity, open-mindedness, and above all, real change. And change takes courage. Thank you.
Hi, I'm George Bauer. I want to thank you for inviting me tonight. Myself and my wife Shannon moved to Bethlehem up on North Main Street 13 years ago. And when we were looking for a place to move north from the coastal part of the state, we were looking for things normal young parents would want to see, and that's a good value for your dollar in your home, and importantly, an education, a quality education for a growing family, and that's why we chose Region 14 and Bethlehem. I have 4 children now involved in the school system, and next year my oldest will be at the high school, and they'll have 4 children in 3 different schools. And that's kind of what led me to say, wow, we've got a lot of participation in this region. I'd like that kind of motivated me to get involved further in the school system. A little bit of background about me. I'm a consulting engineer in a small firm over in Middlebury, and I've been there 4 years, and I work on engineering consulting projects, both large and small, for small companies as well as some of the bigger aerospace companies in Connecticut. I think what that helps me bring to the table as a Board of Ed member is working with different customers, understanding their analysis requirements, working with people, working with data, and managing both small and large projects, and really getting the best the customer can expect for the dollars they spend. And I think that's important as a board member as well. Also, part-time, I'm an adjunct instructor down at Fairfield University and University of New Haven. And some folks ask me, why do you invest a lot of time? Why do you do that at night? And one of the things that really helps me with, or what I find a lot of value in becoming or working as a nighttime instructor, is working with college kids and really staying on top of the industry technically, working with the children, see what the college kids need for skills and educational requirements coming in. I work with both graduate and undergraduate students, and really identifying what skills they need to succeed in college and further on in life. And I think that's one of the things that keeps driving me as a part-time instructor. With 4 kids, you're bound to have participation around town in activities and sports. I'm a den leader for my young boys and a part-time softball coach for the girls. And not only do I enjoy helping the children have fun and learn, is I like to see the kids and watch the kids grow, both while having fun, growing in skills. And that's kind of one of the things I said, watching these kids grow is really neat. And actually understanding and learning the different kids learn differently and at different rates. And I think that's one of the things I'd like to stress, being on the board, as one of the things we should continually stay on top of for curriculum and our teachers. Some of the things with talking with people around town and the current issues with the region, one of the things I'd like to see is more transparency for the board activities. Transparency is a term used a lot. You'll see that around in the newspaper and so forth. But what does that mean to me? In transparency, to me, means access to all information as well as easy access to information. I'd like to see perhaps the board of education activities more accessible to the community. I'd also like to see the community more involved in board activities, and perhaps the Board of Education reaching out to the community, both in committee work, perhaps in surveys and transfer of information, so that as a board we can work together with the community and always keep more involved. Student, for the teachers, and so forth. One of the things I am concerned with was the dollars going for supplies and materials. Even though the big dollars are going to our educators, there's over $1 million being spent for supplies and materials. So is there any opportunity where we can review that information, identify, can we encourage smart spending, efficient spending in portions of our budget? And other things I'd like to review as a board member would be additional opportunities for savings and smart expenditure in learning materials, energy, supplies, and transportation. These are some of the things I have ideas for. I'd like to engage the community to discuss, and also, obviously, being new to the board, I would say I don't have all the information, I don't have all the answers, but one of my strengths, I believe, is bringing to the board is working with board members, working with the community, and getting problems resolved and getting information out so we can make the right decision for the most important goal, and that's for our children. So I'm looking forward to the challenge, and again, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for this evening.